Hey, welcome everybody. We are here. I probably need my mic. How are you all? Thank you so much for the delay, for your patience for the delay. We are here doing something a little different with our lunchtime today. We had a blast last Friday. And what has happened is it just so happens that Tim is leaving and I've got things to do and he needs an edge up. So guess what? Today on Lunch with You, we're going to be in the barber chair. So that's why we have a little setup that's different. But guess what? Our intro is the same. And I want to welcome you to our Friday lunch. And I want to know, where are we chiming in from today? And number two, what are we eating? So, hey, everybody, I love you guys. I'm so glad you're here. And Damien is, thank you. We're going to get a beard trim for Damien. I see you. Oh, my goodness. For lunch today, we're having a smoothie in honor of Lent. All right. So this is what's happening this week. I had my boy make me a smoothie. And so that's what we're having. All right. Trinidad and Tobago. I love it. Ivor, I see you. Brooklyn. Hi. Virginia. Hi. Where else are we coming through from? Jasmine from Dallas. I love you guys. Where are you guys at? Detroit. And you are having sweet potato and a turkey bowl. I see you, Veronica. In Philly with the smoothies. Raven, I see you. Broccoli and cauliflower. I asked Nathan to make me some broccoli and cauliflower last night, but that didn't happen. But anyway, here you go. Here you go, about to chime in. Okay, I see you. Newport News, Conyers, Virginia, Baltimore, Orlando, LA, Montreal, Kansas City, Raleigh, Kenya. I know you're having dinner. I appreciate it. Florida, doing the protein shake. Minnesota, Michigan, I love it. Tampa, Austin, I am so glad y'all are joining today. I love it. Pizza and a piece of fruit. You know, last week we had pizza. Alexandria, Virginia, eating late breakfast right now. I got you. David, no convertible fades today. No, this is going to be some real fades today. Hey, Janelle's from Maine. Did I pronounce that right? Janelle's. I love it. Coming from Columbus, Ohio. About to have some corn tortilla chips and guac. Oh, that's so great. New York. Rensselaer? Never even heard of that part. Carissa, I've never even heard of that part of New York. That is amazing. And I was born there. Georgia, Kentucky. I love it. I love you guys. So glad to see you all. I'm so glad that you guys came, that you're joining me today. We are going to have fun. We are going to do something different. I ate KFC here in South Africa, Cape Town. Listen, y'all know South Africa is my one day. One day I may make a trip there. I'm here. Do you all know? I am starting, I think I told you, I'd started to learn Zulu because I listen to so much South African worship. I'm like, I need to learn this language because I listen to the worship so much. Anyway, I love it. The audio is crispy. And you know what? Thank you, David. I see that the chat is looking a little fuzzy too. Gabrielle from Jamaica, my peoples. I love you, honey. And let's see. How is the audio? Is it any better? Is it sounding kind of crazy? They were saying the audio is choppy, just letting you know. And I don't know if that is me or if that's them. Not us? All right. Audio is top tier. Okay. I love it, guys. Well, listen, we're going to get started. I have while I'm going to cut Tim's hair today, that's what's happening. We're having a little bit of different show. I've been cutting hair for, a long time. And so I cut Timmy's hair. He's going out today. I'm going out. And he said, babe, I need you to cut my hair. And I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to ask you last night. And it just so happens that I said, you know what? Let's make sure that we get this thing going. So let's just cut it on the show. And then the next time I'll have Damien come. So he's been waiting. But today for my lunch, I have this... I'm not sure. Oh, I think there's a banana in here, some fresh fruit, and some almond milk. And so this is what I will be snacking on today while we have lunch. So my lunch will be light, no meats. But I'll tell you, is it just me or is it anytime anybody's fasting or doing something different? that all the things that you normally want to eat, they just come shouting at you, right? So it's like this amazing chicken that I've been eating lately. I want to just shove it down my mouth. It's a really good grilled chicken. And it's like, yeah, you can't. And then it's the one thing that you have abundance for, right? You have an abundance of, like, we bought a whole bunch of this chicken because it was so good. We wanted to make ourselves sick with it. And then it was like, oh, we've got to fast. But now we have all this amazing chicken that's just in the freezer waiting for this fast to be over. So Lord have mercy. Anyways, but it's all good, guys. I am super excited. We'll have fun today. The clippers might be a little loud. Hopefully it won't be too loud, but I won't clip as much. I have a lot of tools, well, simple tools that I use that we could make this thing work. So we're trying something super new. We haven't done it yet. And so let's see how this journey goes, okay? All right. So as I sit here, I'm about to get my Mr. Rogers on. Too bad you guys don't have Mr. Rogers music. We're going to put this cape on, okay? And would you be mine? Won't you be mine? You know, it's to change your clothes. Uh-oh.
It's to change your clothes.
It's to change your
The best we can do is West Coast Trap.
Not West Coast Trap for it.
That's the best we can do for you right now.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Roll a track, Nathan.
Roll the track. All right.
Roll a track, Nate.
Beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
It's giving very much silent.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah.
Mr.
There
Ross.
we go. Oh, this is a good vibe.
I have a
turn
special
that up.
guest that will be with us today.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys switched the camera. Am I looking at this one? Am I looking at this one? I'm looking at this one still. All right. I'm going to look at my camera. Hello.
I love you.
My first victim. Just kidding. Client of the day. We have a special client, guys. You just saw him for 3 hours on the Wide Open Show, and now he's back again to get touched up. I have not done this with cameras rolling before.
No, we've never done
Never done this with cameras rolling, and so this is going to be new. So if you want to speak, my love, you have a mic right here. You have to hold it, okay? If you want to say something, because it is what it is right now.
got nothing to say.
You ain't got nothing to say. It is what it is right now. All right, so how is it the kids are getting older, but y'all are aging backwards? Hey, Mia, how are you?
It's because we drink a gallon of water a day.
It's right here, guys. Here's what what do you guys call it?
Mine is
The propane tank.
Mine's a propane tank, and they say yours is a water tower.
Oh, water tower. That is so great. Special guest, Uncle Tim. He did. Since I just spoke for 3 hours, that's really funny. Okay, here we go, guys. We got the gold tape, hopefully for a gold fade. All right, we got the gold cape. And this is how we do it. Where's Montel?
William wanted to know if I use any beard oils. I use Scotch Porter. Did I give you the clips already, right, baby?
Yes.
Okay, I use Scotch Porter for my beard or my shadow, whatever this is right now. I don't know.
That propane tank is everything. Last week, guys, we did all the chats. I don't know if you were here, but last week we had all the laughs about all this haircut, and it just so happened we're back at it right here this week, and we are really doing this live. How fun is this? All we need is some music. No music? We can't have music, huh? That's where YouTube comes in. So, Nathan, can you scroll back down? I wish my wife didn't stop cutting my hair. I love it. Or scroll back up. I wanted to see a comment that I just happened to see, but I don't know. Let me see. All right, I'm ready. Yeah. Okay, no. That's true. Yep, Timmy, you asked her that. Use beard oils? Yes. All right, no. You can go back up slowly. Yeah. Girl, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I pray life with my future wife is like this. Slow down, baby. Slow down. It goes so fast. I'm trying to read y'all comments, guys, and I love it. Y'all are in here. All right, I am going to take these glasses off. We're going to fix these. Hey, Jarelli, can you turn that light this way? All right. We're going to adjust this light right here. Perfect. That may mess up the lighting a little bit, and everybody will be okay. All right. Yes. And if I need anything, I'm just going to spin him around like this. So, yeah, you guys, some of you wives that have husbands and you want to cut hair, I learned this when I was very young, and it takes practice. If you don't do it right, they'll end up having the convertible. What was it? The convertible hairlines? Oh my gosh, that's what we'll end up making them look crazy. I love y'all. Me and my husband are not doing well at all. I think we'll. Oh, it's scooted up. Maybe not make it. I hope that is not the case. So learn how to cut hair. Okay, I'm single and I want to learn all the things from my future husband. I can cook and clean already. I love it. My husband will not let me touch his hair. Parking lot part. Oh yeah, we're not having any parking lots today. All right, we're not doing any of that. We're going to have fades. Now, based on his hair, he has twists and all these things. And so we're just going to walk right around his edges, give him a blade edge up. I will go over it with I'm just going to fade him up and tighten it. So if you can see him right here, this, all his bottom beard, I'm going to take that away. And then just depending on how much time we have, I'll fade this up a little bit so that his beard is faded. And then
You got time.
really, so I got time. Oh my goodness. And then what I will do is, just cut. We're going to cut and chat. So I will make sure that the clippers, I'll try not to talk too much while the clippers are going, but I am just going to clean this up down here. And then there's another clippers that I have. They're just really loud. So I'm definitely not going to put that one in the chat, but I can probably do it later and clean this one up a bit better, even after we sign off. So we're about to take this fun journey and have a little haircut session. I'll try to get your comments in. And then we'll go from there. All right. So, yes. Mm-hmm. I think, yeah.
We have the background music, so if there's a moment where you need to use the loud clippers, we can turn the background music up, and you can just be cutting.
Oh,
And then
okay.
we'll do that.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to worry
Oh,
about
that's awesome.
having to,
Oh, awesome. They're giving me all the cool tricks, guys, because this is our first time doing stuff. All right. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I use. And I use a standard blade. Do you see this? It's just a straight razor when I'm doing an edge up. Just the Persona blades, which I actually use. There's a lot of fancy stuff that a lot of barbers can use. I've used all of the things. But for me, less is better. This is super simple. I love the Persona blades. And I just do a quick dry edge. And I won't do it all the way around, just on his front parts. And then I will do the back with the clippers. I have had all kinds of clippers. This one is okay. They're just okay. They're okay because they do these adjustments. I'm old school. I actually love to change the blade itself. So I love to swap out the different blades, which I haven't used those in a while. I've had those clippers. What were those? I forgot the name of them. They're downstairs. The black ones. Oh, the 76 Classics. I don't know for any of you barbers out there. Let me tell you something. I've had those clippers for so long. They were my favorite. When you cut long enough, you get to know your blade and the feel of the blade. So I'm gonna just get started here. I don't know why I always start with an edge up first. So I'm gonna spin him around and I'll flip him back over. And these are loud. Are these too loud? These are super loud. All right, I'm gonna edge him up this way with this blade first. And then we'll use the other clippers, which aren't so loud, all right?
And whenever you need to use the black ones, we'll just bump the music up, and it'll be almost like a little intermission.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I'm going to give him a quick edge up. All right, what we saying? Those are heavy up. They are dope. They true.
Someone asked a question about Lent and like what it means from biblical and religious.
Listen, Lent is... I'm only doing it, if we're really honest... I'm only doing it because my church asked us to do it from Sunday. And if we would do it up until Easter, like once a week, to fast something that you don't want to do. And I was like, I thought we just came off of a fast like the New Year. You know what I mean? Like that January fast. It's wrong. This is probably my carnal side, and I apologize, y'all. We get giggly and goofy when I'm doing something super fun and that I love to do. So all serious questions are off today. No, I'm only kidding. Only kidding. But yeah, it's not anything I typically go for, if I'm being honest with you. TT Juju is 1,000. I'm with you. Yeah. It's the honesty. Yeah, man. I'm only, it's just because I was at church on Sunday and they were like, we're just asking everybody to fast. And I was like, man, I thought I did a solid 30 days in January. Is it enough? It's never enough to be closer with the Lord. It could be a Catholic thing. Listen, I'll look more into it myself because it's not anything I normally do. I'll look into it more myself. I was just trying to be obedient. Y'all, I was just trying to be obedient. What they saying? This is so true. Shockingly, I can still hear you over the blade. I grew up with no meat for years on Friday during Lent. Yeah. I will tell you, one thing that we did grow up doing, I will say this, for Good Friday, my mother did raise us to eat fish only. Did you guys do that? Were you not allowed to eat meat on Friday before the Good Friday? It was Good Friday. We weren't allowed to eat any meat. If we ate McDonald's, we had to get the fish sandwich. All right. We couldn't eat nothing else, no meat on Good Friday. Were y'all that way too? Flesh be having a whole attitude on a fast. It sure does. Oh my goodness. And I told them earlier, I bought that whole thing. I don't know, guys. There is this grilled chicken from Sam's. Okay, I gotta say this. My mom, it's probably made in a lab. I ain't even gonna lie. It's probably made in a lab the way things are going nowadays. But I gotta say, on today, well, not today because I'm doing this fast, but that lab chicken from Sam's, okay, I'm assuming. I'm not saying it is lab chicken. It could be. But I just question when things are made in massive bulk. I really am. I question when anything is made in massive bulk. Anyway, until I further rebuke my flesh, my mother made like a salad this week. And she put these tiny bits of grilled chicken in this salad. And it was just unusually delicious. I mean, finger-licking delicious. And I was like, wow, where did you get this chicken from? And she was like, oh, yeah, I got it from Sam's. And I was like, wow, this grilled chicken is amazing. Now, I am not a fan of chicken breast. I love me some dark meat, okay? I love a leg. Give me a little thigh, all right? Oftentimes, the white meat is dry. So I'm not a big fan. But for some reason, Sam's has this like herb roasted grilled chicken breast that is so juicy, so flavorful. I feel like they injected it with more than just some herbs. I'm pretty sure there's a little something else extra in there, okay? So, man, I can't tell you how many times earlier this week there was a Sam's run. Who runs to Sam's multiple times? Because you buy everything in bulk. Why did we buy multiple of these chicken breast things in bulk? That's how good it is, guys, right? So I'm convinced it's just some lab meat, okay? I agree it's not going to be good. But to my flesh this week, it tasted amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. With that being said, I don't know if y'all want to go out and try it. Sam's is not paying me to promote that chicken. I'm just saying to you, that chicken has had me in a chokehold. Okay. Dang, Sarah noted from my next Sam's run. You just need to know how to cook the white meat. I never understood when people say breast is dry. I get it, J. Coop. I get it. I do know how to cook the white meat. I don't overcook my meat. I just don't care for it. I just don't care for it. But the way Sam's does it is amazing. So I agree. A lot of my family members loves the white meat. I just prefer the dark meat. Okay, Stephanie, I had a dream to give away an amount of money that's not in my bank account. I'm saving for a house. I'm thinking once I have it to give away, then is there an arrow down button there? Any thoughts? Okay. So you have, you want to give some money away. You know what? I understand that. Now, is that dream from the Lord? Or did we have bad tuna? Right? So here's the thing. We got to know. We have to be honest, Stephanie. We're not sure. If it is the Lord, he's going to dynamically provide. If it is you, you might just be out of some money. So sometimes dreams can be tricky, right? Sometimes it can be tricky. I say at the end of the day, I mean, are you asking for what should you do? I just need to know, but I don't want you to pay another. Is she crying? She's crying. I just don't want you going broke, honey. I do not want you going broke. I want to know what Tim is thinking about right now. Oh, fried chicken and jam. Juliette, do you fade using guidelines? No, I never fade using guidelines. I don't know why. I literally just look at the person, right? Because even last week, even we were joking around. I was joking about using those templates. But everybody's forehead is different. Everybody's thing is different. So I don't use guidelines. I just look to see what looks good for the person. And I just try to measure it. I just eyeball it. Old school, right? It's like when you're cooking and it's like put a dash of this and a sprinkle of that. What measurement is that? That's not a real measurement, but you just know how much it is. If it's the Lord, yeah, he'll confirm it. Yep. Yeah. I don't know, Stephanie. How much is the amount you're trying to give away? You're trying to save for a house? I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes God does tell you to do crazy things. I'll just say it. Everybody's God ain't the same. All right? And everybody that says they hear from God, a lot of times it's just their own influence. Now, is the enemy going to say, hey, you should give this money away to somebody? No. But if you haven't been really prayerful and seeking Lord, it can be deceiving. I'll tell you why. I'm going to give you an example of why I said you really need to know if it's the Lord or not. This is serious, actual true story. It's not I have a friend whose mother is a recent widow. And she, of course, because of the husband's passing, got her settlement, got her monies and all the things that you get when you get a widow. Okay, when you become a widow and you're married, inheritance, whatever you want to call it. And she was so into this particular church. She loved this particular church. That the church was having a building fund. This particular church was having a building fund that it had been having for a very long time. For a number of years, this building fund wasn't met. Now, this is a woman who I feel hears, she probably hears from the Lord. She said she had a great foundation in God. She's been saved all her life. She does everything very religiously when it comes to the church. And after her husband passed, she said that she felt like the Lord told her to give all this money away to this church that she absolutely loves. Well, she did. She gave a bunch of her money away. So much so, she felt like it was the Lord. So much so now, she's living with her kids because she doesn't have any more money. And the money that she has is very, very little. And there's nothing else coming in. Like, there's not a residual. Like, that was it. And so in her eyes, she felt like it was the Lord. And now she's broke. And that church in which she gave the remaining amount that the church needed for that building fund, some little podunk church. It's a podunk church somewhere in Houston. And she gave her money, the remaining dollars, okay, the remaining dollars that she had that would have finished their building fund. She gave it to them. Why are they still in the building fund? They're still in that building fund, right? So I'm not going to be here to talk about the corruption of some of these church leaders who have maybe been manipulating. It's the part, I'm not even going to talk about that because discernment will kind of tell you certain things. What I'm frustrated more on is the fact that she said, God told me to. And I understand that when God tells you to give something, you may not always see the blessings right away. And it may take time. But when you're sowing into the wrong thing, if you sow into bad ground, you're not going to reap anything. You have to sow into good soil. And so unfortunately now, she said that God said. So that's why I said earlier, everybody's God said is different. Everybody's God's voice sounds different. So before you do that, just make sure that you know. Okay? Make sure that you know, because if not, then you're just going to be out. And maybe the money that God has for you to save for this house could have been that. Maybe you were being a good steward. And I'm not saying that I'm skeptical of everything. Absolutely not. But all I'm saying is make sure that you know. Just make sure that you know. Okay? Because you don't want to be left out and then thinking, well, God told me to do this, and he never really did tell you to do this. You were moved by emotion, which is different, which is very different. So I just want to make sure that we are clear on that. So you got to know everybody has a different spirit and everybody doesn't have good intentions. All right. So I edged Timmy up. I don't know if you can kind of see him. Edged him up and I did it with the straight razor right here so that we didn't hear those loud clippers. But I am going to turn these clippers on and fade him off to the side. All right. Cindy, is anybody talking? Is anybody saying something? All right. Yep. Oh, here we go. Can you see Timmy's, just his front edge? And all I did was, I did it with the straight razor, right here only. Just did this and his beard. All right. And then now I'll turn the clippers on for just a couple minutes and then fade him up really quick. Clippers aren't loud. Okay, great. What else? No part. Nope. No part. No part. We're going to get some crispy edges around here. All right. So we're going to fade him up. Is that too loud, guys? Let me know if this all right. We're going to get him going. Somebody said I'm not used to Tim being here and not talking. I know. And we typically have a quiet time unless we're just catching up on something. But a lot of times getting your hair cut is very soothing. Ju, have you ever cut women's hair? Yes, I have cut women's hair. I've cut long women's hair, and I've also cut short women's hair, especially if they have these shorter haircuts, if they have fades, or if they don't have fades, if they have mini fros. I definitely have cut women's hair in that instance. I've cut children's hair. I've cut. What I don't do is I don't cut women's hair that need like these really cool styles. That I don't do. Not that I can't do it. All I literally have to do is watch it one time and then I can do it. I just need to see it done once and then I'll be like, oh, okay, I got it. I know exactly what to do. It's just that I don't do it often because we as ladies, we got so many things we want. We need a fade. We need color and cut and trims and all kind of things that it's like, I do not have time to do all that. I just do not have time to do all of that. Chris B, Auntie Ju, can you describe the top 3 funniest moments in your life? Oh my. Chris is in the building every week. I love it. Oh my gosh. What could be the top 3 funniest moments in my life? That is really tough question, Chris, because sorry guys, I have my braces in today. I have not worn them in a while. So the shift in here is tight, okay? The bite is tight, okay? Which is perfect for fasting because I'm not eating much, okay? But yes, I have to put them back in to realign these bad boys. Crispy, I have to think about this one, okay? What are some of the funny times? I have many funny moments. I can't think of right now what would be the top 3 funniest moments in my life. You know why? I laugh a lot. And my laughing sometimes makes other people laugh and it goes into hysteria. So can you think of a funny moment? Oh, Chris? Well, no, I'll try to think about it, Chris. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the tip. Let me process that one for sure. Oh, speaking on funny, Drew, what was your favorite part of Tim's comedy set? Oh, one of my favorite parts of Tim's comedy set, yeah, that's a really great question that he had Friday was him talking about being hard and carrying his gun to like Sprouts and his therapist saying, because he acts like her often because it's Nancy. And so she does talk like this. And so when he like is acting like he's her, he's just like, my therapist is a white woman. And so this is how she talks. And so then when she's like, oh, Timmy, you're bringing your gun to Sprouts. It's really funny because he's talking about like how this environmental trauma that he has. And then now he's completely not like that. Like he is very bougie and he's like, yeah, I'm part of the HOA. I'm like, yeah, in charge of the HOA. Yes, and the neighborhood watch took me out. Like, what do you say? Ted's garbage can's been out way too long. What's happening here? The foolishness. Did you guys get to see that? Because that was pretty funny. I'm empathizing with Uncle Tim. He's so dead tired. Your husband said he goes out of his way to make you laugh. He does. Does Tim run his set by you before going on? He doesn't like completely act the whole thing out. He'll give me highlights and say like, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about. Here are the different things. So when he did his set on Wednesday, I said to him, when he did his set on Wednesday, I said, are you going to do the American Airlines one, this one? He was like, no, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And so I didn't know how it was going to come out, but he did great. He did amazing. You got some comments you could read to me, and then I'm going to fade him up.
Yes, this is a good question.
Yep.
I need to know, but how do you relay your needs to your husband when you tell them and they instead get defensive? Genuinely so lost on how to relay needs without it turning out bad.
Really good question. So, can you give an example of what do they do to get defensive? And I don't know how your tone is when we're relaying the needs. So let's make sure that we're working on tone. So I can say, for you, how are you delivering it? So if I'm giving an example, if I need to talk to Tim about what I need, which is really odd, Okay, if I need to say to Timmy, hey, babe, this is what I need from you right now, I actually hate having those types of conversations. We have them, but I hate it because that means it's something serious, right? And what I would say to him is, hey, honey, can I talk to you about something? And he will pay attention. But this is my tone, right? So my tone isn't, it isn't demanding. It isn't frustrated. It isn't, and you can definitely tell me if I'm wrong. I try to be very mindful of how it's coming across. And I say, hey, can I talk with you about something? And here's what I need. At this moment, I just need you to listen. I just want you to hear what I'm saying. And I definitely would love your feedback, but can you wait until I'm done? I just want you to hear me. Could that be something that we do? And I want you to know that I'm not accusing you. I just don't know any better way to convey this to you. So would you have time where we can have that type of conversation? So these are the things that I would sort of preface and do it that way. Sometimes that disarms them. Now, Timmy is very in tune at this point. We're 26 years in. And so sometimes prefacing with that can kind of disarm so that I'm not just coming out telling him, and he just came from a long day of work. You know what I mean? Or he just came from outside running the gym. Like, he has no context to anything. So at least preface it, hey, can we have a conversation about X, Y, and Z? So tone is a very important factor. How you say it is a very important factor. Timing in which you say it is a pretty important factor. If he starts to get defensive, don't get defensive with him, right? Don't match the defense. Just, if you hear that he's defensive, be curious and say, I see that you're raising your voice, or I feel like it seems like you're getting defensive. Is it something that I said? And maybe lean into why and say, can you say that to me a different way? Is there something that you think I'm not appreciating? I love you guys. Bye. Thank you so much for everything. Is there a way that, is there something that I'm saying or doing that makes you feel that I'm coming across in maybe a more aggressive way, that it seems like you're defensive, but I'm asking. So it's just how you talk, lean into it, but don't match the defense. See, why is he so defensive? And you never know what his response may be. The response may be like, you're always telling me what I'm not doing. You're always telling me what I'm not doing right. Am I doing anything wrong? Are you ever affirming to him? Are we ever saying anything about what he is doing right? So I hope those things help in seeing in the way you communicate with him to dig deeper into why is he so defensive. And maybe it would reveal where you guys are in your relationship a little bit deeper than you might think. Okay? She did add follow-up. Yeah. So they're reading the questions to me. So there's more follow-up coming.
Okay, so she said an example is, hey, husband, I notice you have been spending a lot of time on your games and not a lot of time with the family. We love you and need you to be with us. And her follow-up is what he said. And he says, what do you mean I've been home all day? How is that not enough? So I guess that's an example.
Oh, okay.
So, is my mic on? I would just tell this young lady, don't make it about the video game.
Yep.
Tell him you miss him. Like, I've noticed you spending a lot. No. Hey, honey, I miss you. Mm-hmm. I miss you. The kids miss you. Would it be hard to get some time with you this evening? After you finish playing your video game. Like, make it about the main thing. Don't make it about anything else. Make it about the main thing. You miss him. You want time with him. The kids want time with him. The family wants time with him. So just say that. That's what I have to say.
That's great, baby.
Because if you make it about video games and TV and all that kind of stuff, it sounds accusatory. Mm-hmm. And it already puts him on the defensive. So don't make it about that. Make it about, hey, I miss you. I want to spend some time with you. When you going to be done with them games, though? So.
Auntie Drew, I'm going to send you my photo, and can you eyeball my look? I keep searching for a good hairstyle, JK. I got to ask, how do I recognize a good relationship after being in toxic ones for a long time? Please pray for me. I'm trying to discern God's voice. Nice. I'm going to send you my photo. I'm sure you have an amazing look, but send that photo. Let me see what we could do. Only joking. Okay. The toxic relationship. Okay. Well, the toxic relationship part is you're going to need to ask yourself an honest question, which is, what is it that I'm consistently attracted to? So you're going to have to ask yourself, in these toxic relationships that you keep having, what is the common thread? What is the common thread that you are seeking, that you keep falling for, that ends up not being in your favor, right? So if there's toxic relationship after toxic relationship, it's probably not the other person. It's most likely you. So what inside of you is drawing? What is it in you? And so it's going to just be an honest question, right? We're going to have an honest question here is, what is it that you like, that you are attracted to? And let's start there, because that may be what the problem is. And are you open to something different? Are you open to doing something different and being open to a different type of person? Crispy. Okay, LOL. One moment where something was so funny, you laughed, ran, cried, smacked the air. Crispy in this question? Okay. Oh my gosh. When did I run, smack?
I mean, we've got a million, from family stories to clowning. We should tell a clowning story.
We
That would be a messy.
right.
Time where the hill was on that ladder.
Okay.
Let's not do the ladder story. Let's not expose this man's forte.
Right. So Chris, I do. Okay. Let's be honest. So Chris, I do have lots of these stories, but my family is a clowning family. I mean, you have to have thick skin to be in this family. Okay? You've got to be you got to be you got to have a turtle shell to be in this family. I mean, super thick skin, because we go off, okay? And it could be that we go off on each other in a clowning, joking way, and we do that a lot. So that's normal for us, unfortunately, okay? And so we go hard with each other. And so we have a lot of those slapsticks moments. And so in a family setting, I can tell you this. I won't say any names and I won't say who it was from, but to answer this question that you're asking about doubled over, bent over laughter is, oh gosh, I'm not going to say who this was, but this is how we do. I'll preface it. Okay. I have nieces, I have nephews, I have sisters. There's no mercy when it comes to our family, okay? It is just no mercy, and nothing is off limits when it comes to clowning, shade, jokes, everything. I was in a text thread with one of my nephews. He is a goofball, okay? He is a goofball, and when we get together, I don't know who's worse. They keep saying I'm the leader of the camp, which is not true. My nephews and my nieces they're evil. They're like the spawns of Satan, okay? That's the truth. All right. This particular story, I'll say this quick and I'll get back to it. This particular story, my nephew and he was clowning on himself. We were in a text thread, and I was like, I need some new pictures of you, because maybe I can hook you up with this girl that I know, right? Just hook him up. So he's sending me these pictures. I'm clowning his pictures, right? And I'm like, you look like you sell insurance or whatever, because he's super young, and it was nothing, no shade to insurance jobs. But I was just messing with him, right? Then he sends me a picture of, like, those 0.5 cameras. Do your kids do that? They do the 0.5 where your forehead gets really big and distorted. All right. So he sent me one of those pictures of himself. We're laughing back and forth on the text. Okay. Then he sends me like a picture of Bigfoot. And then I send him a picture of Sasquatch, right? So we're going back and forth of Bigfoot and Sasquatch and how we're clowning each other, okay? This is what we do, all right? So we're laughing. We're laughing hysterically on the text message. And so I was like, okay, send me like a real decent picture of you, right? So I'm like, okay, this is good. This is good. Mind you, we're still laughing about these Sasquatch gifs and pictures that we're finding super fast. Okay, I got a friend that was having like a 50th birthday. Now, these people are like super close to us. They're like our family. They're just as ruthless as we are. It's all the same, okay? We clown each other's families, we laugh and we have fun, and it's what we do. One of their family members, we were super close. They just moved away many years ago. So I hadn't seen this particular family member in like 15 years or 20 years. I hadn't seen this family member. But when I tell you he is an idiot, I mean, super goofy idiot, you would have thought my mom had all of us, these big families. You would have thought my mom had all of us because we are loony bins. All right. I haven't seen him. So the reunion was super fun. He starts asking me. Now, mind you, this was literally 2 days later after my nephew had this phone text exchange. All right, you got to go. Let me text and talk. All right. Tim looking at me like, you going to cut this hair. Don't forget why I'm here. So this text exchange, this guy is like, oh my gosh, Jew, it's so good to see you. It's so good. Oh my gosh. We're laughing. He was like, hey, how was so-and-so? I haven't seen him since he was a kid. I haven't seen him since he was a baby. Like, oh my gosh. How is he? How is he doing? I'm like, oh yeah, I was just talking to him. I was like, he's big. He's married now. I mean, he's not married. I was like, he's got a job. He's a grown man. He's doing his thing. He's doing well for himself. And I was like, in fact, I got some pictures for you. I was like, you want to see him? Like, he's an adult now, completely different. He was like, oh my God, I would love to see him. I miss that guy so much. He was like the best kid ever. I'm like, I know. He was amazing, right? I got some pictures for you. Hold on. So then I said to him, let me fade this part right here. So I was like, hold on, let me see these pictures. I go on my phone. I was like, oh, you're not going to believe how big this guy is. Like, he's 6'2". He's just a big dude. He's just like, you left him like a baby. And this guy's a big, handsome guy, right? He was like, oh my God, hurry. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see him. Like, yo, I miss him so much. I can't believe. I was like, yeah. I'm going on my phone. I was like, oh, here he is. I pulled up the Sasquatch picture. That was the first picture. But I said it so quick. I mean, I said it so fast, like, oh, you're not going to believe. You're not going to imagine how big he got. So I pulled up the Sasquatch picture. That was the first picture I pulled up. And I was like, oh yeah, here he go right here. So I handed my phone to him and I looked away like it was nothing. This man was like, what is this? Oh my God, let me tell you something. This man almost peed himself. I almost peed myself. We were dying, laughing, crying. And he was like, you're so stupid. You ain't changed one bit. You have not changed. I was like, yeah, I know. Because this is what I do. I was like, we play and we just have a good time. And so when I tell you, we laughed hysterically. We were there for his sister's birthday party. Everybody else they didn't know why we were crying in the kitchen. We were crying in the kitchen, okay? Now, then he was like, after 15 minutes of solid crying, he was like, you are an idiot, Jew. Give me a real picture. And I was like, okay. I got you. Mind you, stomach is hurting, cheeks are hurting because he appreciated the joke. All right. So then I was like, all right, no worries. I got another picture for you. Here you go. Here he is, for real. So then I gave him this picture, and then I used the picture with the distorted 0.5 head. That was the next one I gave him. Crying again. Another 15 minutes of straight laughter and absolute hysteria. Everybody was like, what are y'all? We got it. We garnered a crowd because everybody was like, what are y'all laughing about? Because it was so unexpected that I kept sending him these terrible pictures of my nephew. And it was terrible. And we laughed. We laughed so hard. And it was crying. Our face was wet. Makeup was all gone. Face was all tore up and swollen. Stomach was hurting. We're screaming on the floor in the kitchen, crying, laughing. And that was probably the most recent one of the most recent one. So finally, I think it was like the third or fourth picture that I actually send a legitimate picture. And I thought about that story just the other day. I thought about that story 2 days ago. And I cracked up laughing again. I told Tim, I cracked up laughing again as if it just happened. It was hysterical. So Chris, that's a recent story. And we have no mercy when it comes to family and stuff like that, the shade. And I did go back and tell my nephew just for accountability to let him know, yep, I had a good laugh at your expense. And he just laughed too. He laughed too, and we just had a good time. He was like, I can't even stand you. You're wrong. I'm like, bruh, you are wrong. We are wrong. And then he continues to throw all the shade. So, but no, he did laugh at it, and we had a good chuckle. All right, what's been coming up? What am I missing?
All right, so we have quite a few questions that just came out of
Nowhere.
everywhere.
All right.
So can you rapid fire? You think some answers for some of these questions?
Maybe.
Okay, so we've got a question from a while back, but it says, what are a few ways to redirect teenage boys who are disrespectful to their mother and expect her to do everything around the house, including cleaning up after them? We got a good parenting question right there.
What are good ways to redirect them?
Yeah, redirect teenage boys who are disrespectful to their mother and expect them to do everything around the house, including cleaning up after them.
Oh, yeah. All right, so that's the teenage phase. It's terrible, right? So I think that's par on the core. Your teenagers are going to definitely challenge you. Your teenagers are definitely going to try to test you and put up boundaries. Not try to test you. Yeah, they're going to try to test you, but you have to put up boundaries and discipline, right? So you have to let them know that you pay the bills in this house. You have to remind them. You could also have talks with them and say, hey, why do you expect me to do X, Y, and Z, right? So if you're a parent that has not disciplined them, now I'm not saying that you haven't. So I don't know if you are a parent that has actually put in some disciplinary actions. Even if you do, your kids are going to try to test you. It doesn't matter how much stuff you put in, they are going to try to test you. You could try to take away some of their privileges and don't give them everything that they want. Don't give them everything that they want. They don't get to have anything new. So it's letting them know what are their expectations and how they view you. I think another thing too, we need to kind of dig deeper. And yes, they're teenagers, but why do they have this level of disrespect? So I'd love to know, are you a single parent? Is there a father in the home? Does the father or does the dad disrespect? Like, are your kids kind enough to have a conversation with you to see where is this even coming from? And then how do we need to curtail these behaviors? So see what it is. See what it is, if you can have a decent conversation with them. If not, then you definitely need to parent them and not befriend them. I think sometimes parents try to befriend their kids, and it just doesn't work that way. So let's put up some boundaries and some parameters and some rules and make them abide by it, or else they just don't get the things that they want, because they're going to want something. They're going to definitely want something. Hope that was helpful. Anything else, Jerome?
We're waiting to see if there's yes, it's the father is in the home.
The father is in the home? Mm-hmm. And he is allowing them to be disrespectful?
I guess that's your follow-up question. Let's see.
Is the father not saying anything either? Right. And what type of disciplinary actions have you all enacted with your kids? Like, do you discipline them? Have you disciplined them? And if you did discipline them, have you, you know how some parents, they'll say, oh, you're grounded for 2 weeks, Jimmy, but then after the third day, they take them off for punishment? Like, so are you consistent with your disciplinary actions? Are you consistent with the rules and parameters that you put up, or do you break them? Because if you're not consistent with them, then the kids are going to think they're not serious about it. So I can break the rules. Is this too loud? Are y'all okay? Okay.
Someone had a question about hair growth or tips on hair growth, and they said you have beautiful long hair. What products do you use? Do you want to wrap?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you. I don't use a lot of just products. I use one item. Well, first of all, I don't put heat in my hair, or I try not to put heat in my hair at all. And that damages it. So I don't use flat irons. If I do, it could be once a year, max twice. So I just don't try to do it. I keep my hair moisturized, like with water, not even really with a lot of products. My mother-in-law used to say all the time, your hair is like a plant. If you just water it, it will grow. So I would wet my hair almost every day and just put it in like a 2-strand twist. With just a little bit of a grease or a product that is super healthy. As of right now, my hair is in this twist. The only product I use besides my basically all natural conditioner that I get from Sprouts is the Dew product. As far as a product, that's one that I like. My absolute favorite product that I love if I'm washing my hair is called Terra Essentials. TerraSsentials. Terra Essentials. And they're a mud. A lot of clay masks, and they have an amazing product, and I love it. They're my absolute favorite, but they're more of a cleansing shampoo or a cleansing mask that you put on the scalp and your hair, and it enhances your curls.
All right, so it looks like we have a follow-up from Madeline. She had the questions about parenting, and her follow-up states, he has allowed it and participated. I have, and not having my husband partner with me has caused them to go back and forth and cause severe differences between us.
Exactly. That's the problem right there. If your husband has participated in it, then the kids are going to be a reaction of you all. So have you and your husband considered going to marriage counseling? Because that has to be first. You all have to be a united front on disciplinary action. But if your husband is disrespecting you, then there's an issue maritally. Those kids have to line up with what goes on in y'all's house. If your kids are disrespecting you, of course, it has to be something that is united somewhere. So the husband is united with the kids. That means he's disrespecting and dishonoring you. And now there's a marital issue. And the kids' issue is going to be difficult to fix if your marriage with him isn't rectified first. So you guys need a little marriage counseling to talk out what's going on between y'all. And I think Timmy wants to say something. Joe, you can get it for him. Okay.
So,
wait, before you say that, I just wanted to get here. Hold on. All right.
is that good?
Yeah, you got it.
So, my thing is, once I find out the husband is in on this, the game changes for me.
Yep.
So you got to put all three of them on notice. So why am I assuming it's 3? Did she say 2 boys, or I can't remember?
She just said boys. I don't know
Or
if she
just
said how
kids. You got to put, now everybody got to get put on notice, because you're the whole house is disrespecting you. So the only right, like, yes, marriage counseling, but that's if bro wants to go.
That's right.
So the only person you can control is you. So if the disrespect is coming to you and they're taking you for granted, then put up your boundary. And let's see if these niggas can eat when you stop cooking. Right? Stop picking up behind them.
That's right.
And after 4 days, when the whole house is a mess, I know you don't like it to be in a mess anyway, as well, because you live there as well. But like, go on strike. Like, I wouldn't just let them people continue to run over you like that and take you for granted, because they're definitely taking you for granted. And they're taking you for granted because you taught them that even if you're disrespected, you're going to show love to them anyway. And so we train people how to treat us. And the disrespect that you are continuing to get is the disrespect that you have continued to allow. So the moment you stop and go on strike, everything's going to change. It's not going to even take 7 days, I promise you. And you don't have to be mad. You don't have to burn down the house. You ain't got to put everybody's clothes out. And you ain't got to raise your voice and scream or even break down crying. You know, if you did, it would be valid. All you got to do is say, hey, it seems like I've been taken for granted. And it seems like you all don't appreciate the value that I bring to this house. And so for my own peace and my own well-being, I have chosen to allow you all to make your own meals and do everything that you feel like you want to do until such time that you acknowledge that my value in this house is something that you actually appreciate, need, and deserve. Outside of that, I'm going about my business. In Jesus' name, amen.
Whose name was that?
That was Madeline.
I hope that was helpful to you, Madeline. All right, what else you guys got?
We actually have some dating and relationship questions. So there was actually a few of them in a row. So I'm going to kind of summarize them a little bit. But one was asking, how did you know that Uncle Tim was the one? And there was another question that was asked shortly after that from someone else. They asked about any dating advice you have for young men in their 20s and maybe for women in their 20s as well. So I know that's when, a little bit younger than that, y'all ended up getting together. So maybe that'll all kind of, fall in place.
But we got together in a different time and in a different phase, a different era. That was 20-something years ago. I understand, and I feel bad for single people in 2025, 2024, anywhere in the 20s, because it's hard out here. And society has shifted such a narrative of what relationships should look like, should be, has falsified a look and an expectation of what it should be and look like. So it seems like everything is just unnatural. But I do believe that gold is worth digging for. So the first thing I'm going to say is time. Take all the time with them. It was so funny. I was telling Nathan and Noah the other night, just don't date chicken heads. All right. They said, Mom, what are chicken heads? I said, chicken heads are girls that don't have any value in themselves, expect you to do everything, don't have goals, don't have a vision, don't want a vision, expect you to do all the stuff, expect you to be, just want you to take care of them and nothing else. Just lazy. They want to be pampered like a princess, and they have no work ethic. They have no vocabulary that they can't speak. Right? Just chicken heads. They don't have no vision, no nothing, no goals, no desires, no dreams. I said, you don't want that. You don't want that at all. And I said, you want to have somebody. I said, don't be looking for girls on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Go look for a girl in a library. Go look for the girl in the science lab. Go look for the girl in the math in the math room. I was like, let's get you a girl that going somewhere that's in the history class. All right. You want people that have a vision, that have a desire, that want to do something with their life. Not the chicken heads. You just don't want anybody that's like that their life is on social media. I'm constantly scrolling. I'm trying to look like this. They're always comparing themselves to somebody else. They have no self-esteem, no self-value about themselves. Let them get, if you find themselves, they need to be healed first before you try to date them. So although I was talking to my 16-year-old son, that goes for everybody, right? We're looking for the girls and the guys in the wrong places. I think that's number one. So we want to look for quality people. Can you have a conversation? Number one, do you know Jesus, or did you just hear about him? You know a guy who mentioned something to you about him one time, right? Can you find a person that actually listens to you, that takes the time to enjoy a conversation, that can actually hold a conversation? Can you find? We want to look for people that have same or similar interest, or if you don't have same or similar interests, they're at least curious about the interest that you do have, right? So you want to find people that actually care, that legitimately care about you and the things about you. And if you are in different cultures, that actually care about the culture that you have. They want to get to just know you, your likes, your dislikes, sincerely, that they're actually into you. And it takes time, right? If they're in the mirror longer than you, that's probably a problem. And what I mean by that is, you don't want anybody that's over superficial either, right? They care about how they look at all times, every time. They won't even leave the house without makeup on. They won't leave the house without checking themselves 50 million times. You're going to come into some self-centeredness right there. All right, so be mindful. Just look right here for me. So be mindful of those things. Those are my advice, which that's a tall order in this. That's a tall order in this generation, right? So change the locations of where you look for people and find out what it is that you need and what you're looking for. I believe good quality people are out there. I think we just ain't looking in the right places. Go find you a library. I bet you find a smart woman that actually cares about you. Find a reader. All right, what else we got?
Oh, just a real quick follow-up.
Yep.
Radical obedience.
I think we could, baby.
About how did you know Uncle Tim was the one? Do you maybe want to give some information about that specifically?
No, they've heard our story probably a billion times over, but I knew he was the one only because I had that encounter. We were talking. I didn't know he was the one at first. I mean, it literally hit me like a ton of bricks one day. I didn't know he was the one. We were just friends. I really was minding my business, right? And Tim knew that I was for him before I knew that he was. He was smart not to tell me, because that would have been a turnoff, right? You ever hear those people say, "The Lord told me you was my wife"? They'd be like, "Bruh, come on." If that's the case, then take the steps towards it without scaring her away. And be responsible. So you guys, I'm sure, have heard our story a million times over, but I knew he was the one when it wasn't anything that he did. I really felt like the Lord showed him to me. And he just opened up my eyes. So my part of the story is just really odd. It wasn't like he was the Prince Charming that swept me off my feet. He is my Prince Charming that swept me off my feet. But at the time I was dating him, he was just my friend. And I think that was it. I knew he was the one. Okay, this is a great answer. I knew he was the one. Not because the Lord said initially, and he told me that the Lord said, and I knew he was the one because we were actually friends first. We were really good friends for a long time. And we talked on the phone all the time, and we enjoyed spending time with each other. And it wasn't like I just went on a date with him and I'm trying to learn him. Like, he was just himself and I was just me. And if I didn't have to wear makeup when we were hanging out, he didn't care. And we just enjoyed being around each other. And that was really the foundation of our friendship. We almost went really, truly, if I'm being honest, from friendship to being engaged. Would you agree, baby?
That's exactly what
We literally went from just being friends to being engaged for 9 months and then getting married. And there wasn't like, oh, we're dating. It wasn't even that. This was my guy. This was my friend. We were hanging out. And I think we missed that part in the story. We all just trying to get with this next person. But we spent time with each other. And then I was like, I love my friend. This is super simple. And people that say, oh, you don't marry your friend because you know them too well. Well, yeah. Then marry somebody you don't know and then they beat you. Right? So we got to really think about our actions. You know, well, I don't like him. He's my friend. He's like my best friend. I don't want to marry him. Well, what's wrong with him? Then you're going to be mad if somebody else gets him. And then you go back and say, he really was a good guy. All right. I think my Timmy is done. Hi, baby. You look amazing.
Thank you, Mama.
So we did a little fade here. I don't know if you could see him on the camera. It's a fade right here. Edged him up with the blade. I tried not to use the black clippers because they were uber loud. Here's the fade on the other side. Cleaned him up at the bottom really quickly. And then just a little edge on the sides. And he's good to go. It took longer because I'm chatting with you all. I love you, baby. You're a great client. It's super clean. And so now he's ready to go.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you, baby.
Love you, bye.
Yay. All right. So here we are. What time is it? 1:22. Oh, 1:22.
We got good timing on this.
We got good timing. We started a little late, but it is all good. All right. How we doing? Can we take my seat up? I could take the seat up.
Mom, you're so low on
you
that
want me to be
camera.
here? Oh, okay. We're looking at this camera right here. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. So thank you guys for hanging out while we cut Tim's hair today. Hope you all enjoyed that. And let me see. What are you guys saying? I'm looking right here because that's where the chat channel is. So I just wanted to see you guys really quickly. How do you do that? And I end up in a friend zone. This was fun. I'm super glad this was fun. Something different. I think the friend zone, thank you so much, Alejandra. The friend zone is not a bad place. I think we've made the friend zone such a bad place. It's really the best place you could be. I just think so. I think sometimes when you have a friend, you get to know them. When you have a friend, you spend quality time with them that you're not putting a show on for. When you have a friend that you're spending time with, you're not doing all these extra things that you are trying to impress them. You're just giving them who you are naturally. And I think the friend zone is such a good deal because that just lets us know who you really are. I married my friend. So he was in the friend zone and he was the one that I ended up with because everybody else was whack. Everybody else was whack. And I didn't have friends with everybody else that I was with. And so I think society has made the friend zone a bad place. But I just believe society has it backwards. The friend zone is good. And then you want to ask yourself, who's putting you in the friend zone? Clearly, they may not be ready. Clearly, they may not be mature enough for a decent relationship, right? Now, if you're just a whack friend, you're just a serial dater, you're just out trying to get every girl or every guy, then yeah, you're not ready either. But I think friend zones are the really good place to be in because that's the real deal person. And so you're going to know, is this the one that I want to be in? And if you're really honest, if you're really, really honest, if you're in a friend zone with somebody and the friendship is going really, really well, that you start to have feelings for them, I think if you're a good friend, you should say, hey, you know what? Can I talk to you about something? And I don't want this to violate anything, but man, I'm really having more feelings for you than a friend. And we've been friends for all these years. But I just want you to know it. And if you don't feel that same way about me, that's okay. I'm just letting you know where I stand. And I don't want anything that I'm saying to ruin our friendship because this is what I value more. And I just think a lot of times we just have things backwards. You marry your friend, right? We keep avoiding the friend zones, but they're the best people. And then again, we have it so backwards because then they get married to somebody else. And the first thing we say is, they were so great. My best friend got married. He's the one or she's the one I really wanted anyway, but I was too scared to tell him. Listen, fear will have you missing out on quality people right in front of our face. And then sometimes we friend zone people for one or two things we don't like about them. Well, I would never date him or her because she does X, Y, and Z. Okay, but are those X, Y, and Z's, are they really very serious? Is it something about how they look that the look can probably be tweaked or changed? Is it a superficial matter? Or is it something that that you're being very self-centered on? Or is it something legitimate? Like, no, his mindset is really broken, or her mindset is really shallow. This is a legitimate reason why I wouldn't get with her. Is it something that can be like, hey, I love these qualities about you? Like, is it something that's changeable in a person? If not, then I get it. But we just have to ask ourselves, are we being superficial? Are we being the ones? Are we giving them room to change? Do we know if they have the tools to change or mature in that area? Did we ever ask them, do you like being this way? It could just be something that they always know. Like, I just don't think we have enough conversation. I don't think we have enough honest, sincere conversation with the people that we're in relationship with. And we actually miss out on really good people, sometimes based on our shallow thoughts, or maybe just areas in their life that just probably need to be tweaked, but we write them off just because of something so minor or so trivial. And it's like, yeah, but have we checked ourselves? I mean, we're writing them off of something so trivial, and are we the epitome of perfection? Right? Do we need to check on us and see what work do I need to look at? So I think a lot of times we're just not considerate as humans, and we don't give people room to grow, to talk, to heal, or ask the deeper questions about them. And I think we lack that a lot, and so we miss out. We miss out. I think there's quite a few people that come across our path that we've missed out on due to our mental space where we are at the time, and really what's in our heart. Okay. Let me see. What are we saying? Nate tells Super Jew she's about to get rolled up by tells me, oh, that's Destiny again. Destiny is in here. She's
Oh my
coming for me.
gosh.
What is
Always.
Destiny saying? Does she do it?
Always.
I love you, my Des. I want to see this baby bump. My goodness. Are you about ready to drop this package like it's hot? I miss you, honey. I love you, Des. I don't want anybody that I can't be friends with. Great. Trust and honesty is very important. Good. What's your thoughts on long distance dating? I don't have any issue with long distance dating unless as long as you're mature enough to have it. Right? That's the bottom line. Are we really mature enough to long distance date? Sometimes long distance dating is good. That gives you, it builds up your strength in the long suffering part sometimes. It builds up your strength in the patience area. It builds you up in just different areas of your relationship. It gives you a good practice on how could you do it, right? When you actually do get married. So I think people that do long distance date, that are honest and are integral in their dating, that do well if they're good people. So I don't have any issue with it. I know a lot of times it causes problems for people because sometimes we don't know how to have healthy boundaries, and we don't know how to put up parameters, right? So, and we don't know how to really provide a schedule that's conducive for both of you. So it can be a struggle at times, but I think it can work depending on who the people is in there. Keith, how are you guys doing with the recent changes? Are y'all really okay, like mentally, physically, and spiritually? Did I miss the recent changes with what? What was his name? Oh, Keith. I would love to know, even if the guys can put it in the chat. I don't know what recent changes. I mean, we're assuming government. If it is government, it doesn't bother me. I have a very liberal perspective on government, and that is, it is what it is. You have it for 4 years and then it changes. I don't anchor my soul in anything that our world does. So if they're going to make changes that affects me, then I'm going to make sure that I do things in my life and my family that can survive whatever the changes are. I roll with the punches, right? I'm not moved by a lot of things. I will make things happen for us. If they say we can't go to the grocery store tomorrow, I will make sure, right? Or we got to start paying for things with a chip in our hand. Well, I ain't getting no chips in my hand, right? Yeah, I'm not getting any of that stuff. So I will just continue to grow my own food, right? We'll all be vegetarians in this house, right? We'll all be vegans. I will adjust. So yeah, Keith meant Trump. Oh yeah. Listen, we adjust, right? And it is what it is. I just don't think anything is permanent. I roll with the punches, and I do not let it cause me any anxiety, any depression, anything like that. I don't allow the things of this world to dictate how I feel and live this life. Things are going to happen. This world has experienced worst crisis, and they've recovered. Okay, he clarified. Good job. Oh. Oh, it's him leaving B-side in the change? Yeah. Oh, I'm good on both. Okay, great. Oh, yeah. I mean, we're good. Listen, I'm so easy. Tim had to do what he had to do with B-side. And when he, when all this stuff started happening, I was right there when it was happening. And I was like, sweetheart, I hate that, this sucks for you. This definitely sucks for you. And my entire life and our entire marriage, we have had to live by faith. And so with Tim leaving B-side, yep, he's had to adjust to the changes there. And we keep living every day, trusting God like we did. We just revert back to what we were doing before he even started the B-side, right? So nothing's wrong. I just encourage him. I check on him to make sure, to see how he's doing as he's going through all the legal stuff. I'm making sure that he's encouraged. I let him know that I had one legal issue that I had to do. I think I told you all before one time where mine was different from his, but I had to get into a lawsuit with this company because they didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay their bill. So they owed me, it was like $13,000 for work that I did. I completed the work. The work was done with excellence. They got everything that they needed and they ran. They didn't want to pay the bills, their invoice. And so I was heated. Oh, I was heated. I was heated. All the Jamaican came out of me. All of the Jamaican came out of me. I wanted to send this fool caskets to his house. I found his house. I became ultimate stalker. I was angry. I knew where he worked because they begged me. I was closing out my company. And they begged me to help them do this last bit before I shut down so that I could fully help Tim with the church. And I was like, no, I'm winding down. And it was somebody that I knew that was a person that worked there that was like, Ju, please, they just need this last bit of marketing. And if you could do this marketing for them, I promise you they're good for it. So I did it as the courtesy of a friend, as one of a distant family member. And I was like, okay, I will do it. And so we did everything. I made the commercials for them. We did all this kind of stuff some years ago. And they agreed to the terms. We talked to their accounting department. They could afford it. And so they were like, yep, just send me the invoice. We go from there. I said, all right, this net pay is 30 days out. That 30 days came. Yep, we're going to cut you this check tomorrow. Boom. Tomorrow came, never got the check. I was like, all right, we'll wait till Monday. Monday never came. I was like, I'm going to give you a couple more days. Silence of the lambs. I'm emailing, I'm calling. Ain't nobody answering, nobody doing nothing. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Gave them like 10 more days. Maybe y'all are going through something. And so, we're sorry. X, Y, and Z started going, things are changing around here. Now they firing people, letting people go, and all this kind of craziness happened out of the blue. Okay. I was livid because I was like, everything is crazy when you owe me $13,000. Everything is crazy when you owe me $13K of your bill of the work that I've done that you loved and approved and got all this business from it. And so now, I was livid. I was angry, very saved, very sanctified. and very angry. And so end up having to go through this whole litigation. You know, like I hate going through lawsuits. But in that time, we had to go through a lawsuit because I was like, yo, I worked hard. And so all the Jamaican came out of me. I was very angry. In fact, you know, we got weapons in our house. And I was like, yo, you can't be messing with people's money, man. They hard-earned money that they worked hard for, business that they put in, knowing that they put in good work. All the flesh came out of me. All of the flesh was like, we here, okay? We are here and we are present. And I wanted to feel and listen to all this flesh that was acting up because I was like, I could sink this man's battleship. I went and found his daddy's house. I went and found where his everything. I was livid. All of this brownness, okay, was out there. And I was angry. I don't even think I've ever been this mad in my whole life. I was livid. And I was like, this level of anger is no bueno. Because I was like, my Jamaican ancestry is rising all the way up. And them Jamaicans will go crazy loco on you, especially when you mess with their family and their money. And so this instance in my life, it was difficult. But of course I got past it. I didn't do any of those things. I had to kill this flesh, trust and believe in it. If you're a business owner out there, or if you've lost money doing business and you know you didn't do, you were right and integral on your own part. The part I was wrong was really doing this last ending for a friend, for a distant relative. And so, you know, that was my mistake. I just shouldn't have done it. I should have just closed it down like the Lord said to, and not take that last little hiccup. I was really not doing it for the money. I was doing it to get them, but I was going to get paid for it. Well, I definitely had to tone that flesh down, and it bugged me. So for months, it was a pickle. It was a hard place to be in. I was livid. And finally I just had to say, Lord, I give this to you. And that was a hard prayer for me to pray because I'd never been that angry. I was mad. I was so mad. And so I couldn't drive by his business. I just couldn't. Like, I'm just being very honest with you. I was very angry. And so now that Tim is doing his stuff with the B-side, it's a very different situation, right? So his is not that. But I learned from my experience. And even after all my anger and after I got past that, you know what the Lord told me to do? And I'm telling you, I had wrath. You know when you're really angry, you get wrath? Okay, I had wrath, right? And the Lord had to temper my heart. And he said, I want you to bless those who curse you, who hurt you, who despisefully use you. I was like, I'm not blessing that guy. I'm not blessing that business. What? I was so mad. And I was like, see, this must not be God. This must be the enemy. You know when it's the Lord. The enemy is never going to tell you to bless the one who's doing wrong by you. I told you the flesh was acting up. I was like, Lord, he said, I want you to bless him. Y'all, it was the hardest thing to do. It was super hard to do. And so one thing, I don't care how mad or angry I am. I've never been that wrathful in my life. But no matter how angry my flesh is, I'm going to obey God. And he said, I want you to bless them. And this was a struggle. And I knew this was a test. And I had to bless him because I'd rather be obedient to God. And I didn't want anything to hurt my blessings or what I knew or what he wanted me to do. And so I began to speak. Oh, I bit my lip doing it. My heart was right. My mouth was bleeding and I had blood coming down, but I began to say, Father, I pray you. All right. All of that. but it came out. I pray that you bless them, bless this man's business, bless him, cover him, forgive him, forgive me for being so angry, right? I did all that, and I did mean it. And then I let it go. And then I gave it to God. I truly gave it to God, and I released it. I released it off of me. And I know that he, and I had to just bite the bullet, pay all these lawyer fees and do all this foolish stuff because I had to go through all that. And after that was done, I hated that my time was wasted. I hated that all of this was just wasted. And at the end of the day, I did give it to the Lord. And I went on and I was made fully available for the church and what I needed to be at when we were pastoring Embassy. And God blessed everything that we did. And I did truly give it to him. And I did bless him. And then I left it alone. Now, here's more honesty coming in, okay? More honesty is, I'm not going to say that a couple of years later, that every now and again, my brain didn't think about it and just be like, they still around. The business still up. Is it just checking? What they doing over there? They still. They still breathing. I'm just asking. And but that was it. Literally, I would just have a quick thought and just, but I literally let it go. And when I tell you, God has opened up so many countless doors since that. I'm super glad he reminded me to bless them. I learned a valuable blessing. I learned a valuable lesson in blessing those, because I do believe in karma. I do believe what you reap is what you sow, good and bad. And when you don't do right by people, it does come back to you. And so that boomerang effect is so harsh. I believe God is saying, no, bless them, because the consequences is going to hit them much harder. So pray that they don't do nothing crazy. Pray that they don't do anything stupid. So when all this happened with the B-side and Tim and the staff, I just would encourage them. I felt led to say, I know you guys are angry. I know you guys are frustrated. I know you guys are livid, and rightfully so. Clearly, how everything happened, you have every right to be angry. And I was sincere because I knew what it felt like. And I said, and I'm going to tell y'all something really hard to do. Bless them. Speak blessings over them, because the mental torment that they most likely are going to have, the stress that they're most likely are going to encounter, is going to be difficult enough. And maybe they're making bad decisions, or maybe they feel like they're doing the right thing. Either way, no matter who's right or wrong, whatever the issue is or where the disconnect came from, pray God's blessings on them and leave it there. Pray that God bless them, because you don't want anything to hinder you and what God has for you in this next season. That's the bottom line. God always knows the bigger picture, and we don't. We feel the effects of what's going on right now, but he knows the bigger picture. And if we get so caught up with what's here right in front of us, we're going to miss the bigger picture of what he has. And it's never worth it. It is never worth it. And I said, so I know you're angry. Be angry and sin not. Right? Be angry and still bless him. Be angry and keep your heart pure towards him. Get it out and still bless him. And do not allow the enemy to rob you of your blessing. So that's where we are, right? That's where they are, right? That's where they are with B-side. They're handling their business. They're doing their things. The team is learning to live by faith, right? And it is something that I've done in my life. Tim has done in his life. We've done being married. We've done it in business. We've done in these ebbs and flows of our life. We live by faith, and we trust God. We just trust him, right? So we've had practice to live by faith. I just put a post out today about faith that I spoke here on the thing, and how it's one thing to say have faith the size of a mustard seed. And then there's the action of faith. So to say have faith and believe is one thing. But the action of faith, actually doing it, is another. And so you got to practice it. You got to believe in the God that we serve, and trust. And having faith really means relinquishing. Having faith the size of a mustard seed means relinquishing control this size of the mustard seed. And it says, hey, something that tiny, you guys may remember, just relinquish the control and I will take over it. And so for even the scenario with B-side, for us, Timmy, if he's relinquishing control, doing all the things he knows to do, yet relinquishing control overall, God, you do the impossible, I can do the possible. God will move the mountains. And I just believe God doesn't bless when you don't do right. But when you do right, God will bless you and he will keep you. So the team is maintaining and God is blessing and he is showing his faithfulness through them being faithful. All right, what is this here? Kayla, hey, Auntie Jew, I really need some prayer and or advice on. Been with my husband 20 years. He claims to be a believer, but neglects the kids and I. Oh, Kayla, I'm sorry to hear that. 20 years. He claims to be a believer, but neglects the kids. Are you opposed to having a conversation with him? When you say neglect, are you opposed to seeing what's going on, or are we opposed to digging deeper to see what's happening? This isn't the same lady with the video games, right? Okay. What does the neglect look like to you? Is it something that y'all can go to counseling for? Is it something that there could be a mediation? Is there something you can have a conversation and say, hey, can we have more time together? Is he just never home? Is he hiding something? Is he running away from something? Maybe ask him, how is he feeling? Just be curious and say, hey, how are you doing? I just want to check in with you and see, how are you doing? How's your heart? How's your mind? How are we? Can we do a check-in with us? Do you feel the same way? What is your thought processes? Do you feel encouraged by me? Right? I want us to start making sure that we're asking more deeper, intentional questions, making sure that we're not accusatory, but we've got to find out most people that have behaviors that neglect, that don't, there's a deeper issue behind it. Doesn't mean that it's right. There's just always a deeper issue. So if we don't talk about what the surface is that he's not doing, he's neglecting us. Okay, that's a problem. So can we figure out what is behind the problem? Why is he neglecting us? When did you notice the neglect started to happen? When did you notice this behavior? Was it from the very beginning? Did you marry him like this? Did it come over time? What changed? So let's start, maybe evaluate a little bit deeper, kind of dig deep in, see what you can come up with yourself of when you first started to notice it, and then just inquire about him and see if we can get to a deeper issue without it becoming like an argument. Okay. All right. So, Kayla, he won't go to therapy. Right. So if he won't go to therapy, is there anything that you can get out of him without it being accusatory or aggressive? Right. So, sometimes when we are, I wish I could see you all, because, oftentimes we are here in a chat, right? And we're communicating well here, but in person, it's a little bit different. It's kind of like when I talk to the couples that I counsel, that are counseling in person. When they come and sit in front of me, they are on their best behavior. They are the nicest, the sweetest. But 5 minutes ago, driving up, they were fussing, fighting, disrespecting each other in the car, yelling, whatever it was. And then when they sit in front of them and me, they straighten up, shoulders back, and yes, Miss Juliette, this and that. And they're all sweet. And I'm like, yeah, but were you just talking to your spouse that way? Right? So I get respect because I give respect, but you can't come to, I definitely, I'm big on respect. But there's something wrong when you respect me and do not respect your spouse in an equal manner. Right? So I want to make sure that when we're talking to each other, that we're being honest. How are we communicating? How is our tone? How are we saying it? Let's temper our words. Let's be sensitive, and let's ask some deeper questions. Okay. We're good? We good? All right. Guys, it has been great. I know we've been on a little bit long. It's 1:51. We're out here, guys. We are out here. And I gotta go. Because I'm supposed to have a meeting at 2. And it is 1:51. I won't be there in 9 minutes. No, I won't. We have our Pastors' Wives Retreat coming up. Guys, 4 slots left only. So for you pastors out there, if you are a pastor's wife, I have a Mother's Day retreat for you. Tell your churches about it. Only 5 slots. Somebody's already snagged it. It's coming up May 12th through the 15th. I'm going to spoil the bejeebies out of these pastors' wives because they are the most undeserved, underserved community, and I'm going to love them. And so we're going to have a great time. 4 days, is it? 3 nights away. Everything is covered except your airfare in. If you're flying in, everything is covered. So ground transportation, all the food, lodging, all the activities, that one payment pays for everything. You just get here and I'm going to take care of you. So that's coming up in May. And then I'm going to I found this other location, guys, where we can probably have all the retreats. And so that's where I got to go. So I'm going to be a little late, but I got to get out of here. But I love you all so much. And I hope you have an amazing Friday, an amazing weekend. And thank you so much for joining me, whether you spent breakfast, lunch, or dinner with me. I appreciate your time and your space and our conversations. I appreciate your generosity. I love you all for hanging out, getting haircuts today, and eating smoothies and drinking smoothies. Well, really, I just only had a sip. Anyways, you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I love you all so much. Until next time, mwah, bye. And bye.